So there was a king, and he had two twins. Now the thing with twins is that they're born about the same time. So the king had this question for most of his life, that which of my two sons will succeed me? He'll be the next king. So he thought about this, and when they were about to be 18 years old, then he told them that I have a small challenge for you. And based on how you perform on this challenge, I'm going to decide which one of you will succeed me and be the next king. So, of course, they're both quite excited, and they're wondering what the challenge is. So the king says, you both have your own personal palaces, which you've enjoyed your whole life. Take this copper coin, and using nothing but this copper coin, you have to completely fill your entire palace by tomorrow morning. And I will come and check what you've done. And based on that, I will decide the one who's done a more successful job of filling the palace, then he's the one who will be the next king. So, all right, so they've both been given one copper coin, which in maybe today's currency would be worth about 100 rupees or maybe $1 or something. Not very highly valuable. In those days, that was the value of that one copper coin. So now they both start thinking, now one copper coin is really very little money with which to fill an entire palace. How do you fill an entire palace? And their palaces were pretty big. So the first one, he thinks, okay, what is available for one copper coin? And then he gets it. Of course, I know what to do. So there is a bullock cart that goes through the town collecting garbage. And the job of this man is to collect all the garbage and take it outside the city and dump it in the dump yard. So he contacts he finds this man whose every day his duty is collecting garbage throughout town. And he says, listen, you have to make this long trip all the way out of town. Take this copper coin. And today, take all the garbage and dump it in my palace. What are you saying, Your Highness? It's going to spoil your palace. It doesn't matter. Just do what I'm saying. Take this copper coin, and all day today, whatever garbage you collect anywhere in the city, I want you to dump it in my palace. It'll be a shorter journey for you. You'll not have to go all the way out of town. And this is your little tip. This is your little commission for this. And he says, okay, if you're sure you know what you're doing, then I'm happy to do it. So all day long, this guy gathers all the garbage, all the filth of the entire city, and he dumps it into the palace of this prince. The other prince also puts his mind to it and wonders, what can I do? And he also comes up with a plan. So he also goes ahead and does what he has to do. So the next day, the king comes to examine the respective palaces of both these princes to see, what they've done. Have they been able to succeed at this challenge? So from a distance already, he's getting a terrible stench. He's asking his son, what is this about? What is the stench? Come, father, you're going to be so proud of me. It's okay. As they come closer, the stench increases. And then the king opens the palace door, and he is covered in all this garbage falling all over him. He says, what is this? What have you done? He says, father, look, I have succeeded. Just one copper coin. I managed to fill the entire palace. Bottom to top, it's filled. He says, you filled it, but what have you done? You've ruined the entire palace. You managed to ruin an entire invaluable, priceless palace with just one copper coin. Oh my goodness, what have you done? What have you done? So he's very disappointed. And he goes to see what the other son has been up to. So from a distance, he's getting a nice fragrance. And as he comes closer, the fragrance increases. So he opens the door and he notices that the whole palace is filled with the subtle fragrance of flowers. What the second prince did was, he took that copper coin and he gave it to some children. And he said, go to the forest and collect all the fragrant flowers you can, and then you can use this copper coin to get some sweets. And the kids came back with a big bag full of fragrant flowers. And the prince just spread the flowers throughout every room of the palace. And he had also managed to fill the entire palace with something sweet, something fragrant, something pleasant, the smell of flowers. And the king is so amazed that how he was able to fulfill this challenge. And so it's clear, I think, to all of us who's going to be the next king from the story. And of course, the meaning of the story goes deeper than that. You know, we all have this palace. This palace is our mind. It's filled with all kinds of beautiful possibilities. Our mind, and every moment we have a copper coin. Every moment we have an opportunity to pay attention to something. Now, there are two ways you can pay attention. You can focus on all that's wrong with you, all that's wrong with the people around you, all that's wrong, with the community you live in, the country you live in, the world you live in, the universe. You could even find things wrong with God. And when you focus like that on what's wrong, what's missing, and what can go wrong, what can go missing, then it's like you're filling up your beautiful palace with garbage, with stench, with filth. It's like you're using your mind, your attention as a garbage truck. Whereas you have the same opportunity, and every moment you have that copper coin, you have that opportunity to focus on something that's true, that's good, that's beautiful. Focus on what's right. In every situation, there's something that's right. At the very least, you're alive. Even if the content of your life is not always that pleasant, there's an opportunity here. There's something to learn here. There's something to love here. There's something to let go here. There's something to laugh about here. So are you going to focus on Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram? Satyam is truth. Shivam is auspicious or good. And Sundaram is beautiful. In yourself, in the people around you, in your community, in your workplace, in your world, in this universe? Are you going to find what's true, good, and beautiful about the highest intelligence of life, God, whatever word you want to use? Then you become like the second prince, and you fill your life with a subtle fragrance. So the message here is what we focus on expands. And if we keep focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, we use our mind like a garbage truck. That's one way to live our life. It's perfectly possible. In fact, many people do live their life like that, constantly finding fault, complaining, and then becoming so sad and depressed along the way. And it's also possible to focus on what's true, good, and beautiful, what has been true, good, and beautiful, what is true, good, and beautiful, what will be true, good, and beautiful. I like to say, never complain about your life, because someone somewhere dreams of a life, prays for a life exactly like yours, exactly like yours. And of course, we all have challenges. I don't know anybody in this world. If you're alive, you will have some challenges. And the nice perspective here is like, the intelligence of life or God, just like we sprinkle salt over our food sometimes, then that intelligence of life has sprinkled problems. And it's not random. It's actually, there's a deep intelligence in that. And you have received whatever you've received. Now, how are you going to integrate that? How are you going to convert that poison into medicine? How are you going to make that into something beautiful? From cow dung can come beautiful flowers in our garden. Becomes fertilizer. So can you use these challenges or the difficulties to fertilize your good qualities, your patience, your willingness to stay with things? So that's the story of the king with the two twins, and how what we focus on expands, what we appreciate appreciates. And the most valuable thing we have is our attention. It's not just a copper coin, it's a gold coin. It's a diamond. Every moment you have a diamond. And how are we going to invest that diamond? Where are we going to focus our attention? More valuable than time is energy, and more valuable than energy is attention. Because energy flows where attention goes. And wherever you energetically apply yourself, then time disappears. That's the power of a flow state. Time disappears. And you achieve in a short period of time what otherwise can take years and years to accomplish. So I hope you enjoyed the story and you really imbibe the beautiful lesson here. Every time you catch yourself focusing on what's wrong and missing, you say, cancel, cancel. And every time, no matter what happens in your life, you just say, how wonderful, bring it on, bring it on. This is the most perfect moment of my life because it actually is. Because it actually is.